live at Oneness Talk Radio. Surprise! Here's our surprise, everybody. Or one of them. Our new time is one of the surprises, but here's our second surprise. I am Angela, or Angel with an A, and this beautiful, radiant creature is
Sarah Hazel Evans.
yes, yes, yes. Sarah has been hooscowed, hoodwinked, however you want to call it, into co-hosting with me here at Awakenings Moments to Inspire. So we've got a few bugs that we have to work out. So sorry, we apologize for the delay. We were working out tech bugs.
But we made it.
Yes, we did. We did not give up. We kept going. We kept our heads because technology has a tendency of making us all lose our heads sometimes. And so we made it here to be here with you live at Oneness Talk Radio, Facebook, Oneness Talk Radio, YouTube, and onenesstalkradio.com. And it is the second day of February 2022. Or 3. I did it again. 2010, 20.
Did you? It takes a while to get up to speed. It's okay.
Yeah, I did that last week too. No, we're moving into 2023 and moving into all of the joys and wonder and mirrors and that it has in store for us here. And I just can't wait to see what it has in store for us. Like this co-creative process, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Amazing. So, I just wanted to remind everybody about the chat. And if you have anything you would like to share with us or with each other, there is the chat in all of those platforms. So please, it streams here to both Sarah and I, and we can reply to you. And that's how we also co-create with you too, right? It's this whole, I was going to say hour, but we've a little less than that now, 40 minutes, that we can co-create this time with you and see what manifestations and beauty that we bring forth. And there's Pauline there saying, what time and topic of hosts show? So we're normally at 11, but now we are at 2 now that we have our beautiful angel Sarah with us. And so our new time is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from here moving forward. And we'll have to come up with a new Facebook email. I was just thinking email where you can write to both Sarah and I together if you ever feel the urge to do so. So we'll have that up for you next week. This is all kind of just really quick spur of the moment that we just said yes, right, Sarah?
But absolutely. So yeah.
So
I know you've got your things to dive into, and I want to give you that space.
All right. Well, there's right now the only thing that I want to dive into and just remind everybody that it's 2023 and it's February. And so if January was a small little microcosm of what 2023 or even the next 13 months are going to be, what was shown to you through the experience of January, right? And what are choices are you making now that we're moving into February? Because now February is that choice month. And Pauline, I did find out it is a year 2023 year of experience. And it is just going to be so last month, I think that would be a great reason why it being a year of experience, January being the experience. That's why it was just a microcosm of what the next 13 months is going to be, because it was experience through the whole month of January. But now we're moving into that choice month. And so all of these beautiful mirrors are going to be coming up in front of you through the choice month. But it's also a 9 for the month. The 9 is that holy trinity of male, female, and the divine spark inside of you that ignites and creates that crystalline being that you are, and that you get to move forward in that. So what a way to start off that 13 months, right? Is you're lit like a candle, and it also is in bulk. For those of you who might follow a more pagan path, it is the time of Candlemas, where the ewes are lambing and starting to lactate, and the sun is getting warmer, and we celebrate, light and love and family and warmth. So it's just all coalescing together in this beautiful song, this beautiful journey. And, I also wanted to let you know that today is the ascended numerology for today is the 5. And when I was feeling into the 5 is that flowing cosmos of service and action. So when I was thinking of the 5, the main symbol I was thinking of was that the Vitruvian Man that we all know of Michelangelo, where he's got the arms and the legs down and the head, and that is your five-pointed star. You are the five-pointed star, right? So what in action, if your own hands and your own feet, in your own mind and your own heart, what propulsion of service and of action are you moving forward through? What choices are you making to be in service to your own higher self and its connection and to others in and around you? And that five-pointed star, that energy, light, and love of that five-pointed star that you are, is going to beam out from you because that's who you are. That's what you are, is that beaming light of love, and it's going to beam out, and it's gonna shine, and it's gonna hit off mirrors, and it's gonna hit off, other things all around you, and you're going to be able to walk through it going, "I see you. I gotcha. I'm okay." And that's what I want you to take about the five-pointed star, is it's going to illuminate stuff, and it's going to help you make those choices a little easier if you stay in your center, in your truth, and in the trust of who you are. That you are a spiritual being that can walk through this world all around you with peace, love, and joy in your heart, and that you're anchored in the knowing that you are that spiritual being and that you are having a grand old time, and this is what it's all about. I'm just reading a note here real quick.
Like,
Um,
that's okay.
I am just so pleased to see, yeah, Pauline has left a quick message here. She said, "Yeah, I don't know if it's back up. This new time literally is just brand new and got kind of sprung on everybody here just in the last few days. So I don't think anything's been changed as far as the scheduling on the website, but we will now be moving forward at 2 p.m. every Thursday, Eastern Standard Time." And Kim says, "Welcome, so glad to see everybody." Hi, Kim. Wonderful to see you. Uh, and Pauline says, "Oh, cohorts like Jerry and Patty of Love, Laughter, and Latte." Yeah. Yeah, it's so much better when you can do it with a
Oh, it's
friend, for sure.
so I have to bring up something because I thought it was pretty yeah, that was pretty good when you were talking about the 5 point star and you were making the comment of, the arms out, the feet, the head. And it's I never had it hit me quite like this before. But the hands, the feet, and of course the brain are all instruments that we have in our human form when it comes to choices and manifestations.
Mhm,
As humans, being able to actually um, utilize our capabilities of choice, of
mhm,
choosing, and being the co-creative forces to manifest. The action happens within the hands and the feet, and of course the mind.
mhm.
So it's a pretty cool thing to be on a 5 and and seeing that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
just for that, let's have, some Ave Saw breaths, and then afterwards, you segued beautifully into it, Sarah. So let's get us all we should have done this at the beginning, but we were just so happy to see each other and to get moving on
Able
with
to be
the show.
here.
But let's just ground and center ourselves, in this beautiful co-created space, and then we'll talk about our beautiful topic moving forward. So, Sarah, did you wanna lead us?
Oh, sure. Let's do three Ave Saw breaths. So we start by breathing in the Ave, acknowledging the divine within and around us. So breathe in, Ave, an audible exhale with a smile. Two more times. So we'll call in the Ave, smile, and final Ave. Mm.
Beautiful. Does anything else come to you before we move on about the sacred numerology for the day, for the energies of the day that are coming up? Or
Ah, I'm ready to dive into this.
oh,
Let's go.
let's go. Let's go. Manifestation and command versus demand. I had a good lesson of that this summer. I think many of us have had a good lesson of that. Um, um Command versus demand when we all have the ability to manifest, we all know that. We have all If you're listening to this live stream, you know that we have the ability to manifest and that we're moving forward. And if you didn't know that, we have the ability to manifest and move forward. But there are a few little tricks to the whole manifesting thing, that I like to think of, and I would say number 1 is where is your heart centered? Are you centering it in a commanding feeling of, "This is me. I am who I am that I am, and I am calling in the energy of that who I am and that I am, and I am claiming it for all my worthy," or are you saying, "Come to me now. I need this. I am." So, there's that difference between the 2, and for me, it's the simplest way of love versus fear, command versus demand. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and I was thinking about it this morning when I got up to meditate. And, I think first off, manifestation, it has really, it's really found its weight. It's one of those trendy words. There's so many trendy words anymore.
Mhm,
And to remember the root of when we are saying manifestation and what that means, the root of all that really is the fact that it's life first and foremost. It's something that it is just what it is. What we really, when we talk about manifesting, I want to manifest this or this or this. Break it down. Manifestation is life. We're here in the human form. We are examples of manifestation. It's happening no matter what. It's happening all the times. It's going on. Um, And so to take it out of the context of the trend and remember that it is something that just is happening. And then to remember the fact that our power of our feelings, our power of our emotions, and building that relationship and understanding, and like you said, knowing, is this coming from a place of fear? Is it coming from a place of love? Where is this coming from? And really understanding, and it does, if you really play with it and get personal with it, you create a more concrete relationship with you and your emotions, and
mhm.
really bringing your emotions in as the tools that they're meant to be for us as humans. And then also loving yourself enough to say, all right, I know what it is that I want and I desire. And also not shutting yourself down from your worth, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I will also say too that, I often will think of, when it comes to emotions or whatever, and if you can't jump from a low vibration emotion to a high vibration, you have to work up. And
Mhm.
that's the other thing too, when you think of, you find yourself in that place where, you know, you all of a sudden are triggered and you notice that you're, actively wanting to manifest because in truth, you don't like where you are and you want to
Yeah.
be over here,
Yeah.
which is a common thing that happens. You're over
Yeah.
here and you want to be over here. You notice that separation. Well, you can't create in that separation.
Yeah.
So you have to start to move through it, gradually to get to that point where you've, lessened that divide.
Mhm.
And so that's the other important thing is, going through that demand or that command.
Mhm.
That works in that area, right? So you end up realizing that when you're separated, you're demanding. When you
Yeah.
feel into where you are and start to soften, okay, I notice that right now I really would love to have some water. I would really love to have some water. You know, you can feel that demand. You're thirsty, your throat's dry, you kind of want to cough while you're talking, and all of a sudden you feel that demand.
Yeah.
That's very different than recognize than recognizing that you can command the water.
Mhm.
I can command it. I realize that my body's talking, it's a sign of something, and you ease yourself into that ability of knowing that it's not putting that fear
Yeah.
in the request.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, and, because I like to think it's all hunky dory when you're manifesting, when you can look out your window and go off into the daydream or go off into that other realm where you can literally feel and see yourself moving about your day as you're manifesting this or manifesting that. We all daydream. Then there's the manifestations where you can sit and put your feelings behind it, where you can feel it and touch it and taste it and just know that you're there. But then there's the manifestations when you're on, I'd like to say, on the fly in the middle of 3D, in the middle of some form of, well, where you don't wanna be necessarily, and how do you manifest that way? And that's it exactly, is kind of where you're talking about, is just knowing and being in that grounding and centering of yourself and
Yes.
understanding who you are, and that you don't have to go down that path, that you can go down, you're able to see things a little bit more clearly, and then shift that inside part of you that says, "I'm scared," and it's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. Right, right. We got this. This is good. This is good. We learned something here today. This is awesome. Awesome. Okay." And then you can continue on manifesting from there. And you've just manifested yourself out of your crisis, your empty feeling, your scared feelings, your fearful feelings. It's amazing, amazing.
It it is amazing. It is amazing. And even thinking of, just doing the simple technique of staring at your hands, the law of instantaneous manifestation. And
Mhm.
and for me, whenever I've done that, I've always felt into how incredible it is that I am here, right? That I have these hands and the gift and all that happens. And immediately I fall into appreciation and love. And and just even thinking about that, it was like, I was writing about it today and I was just thinking, that basis of how manifestation just is.
Mhm.
So when we do something like we look at our hands, we're tapping into that energy of gratitude and appreciation, and we're tapping into love. And those two things, the gratitude and appreciation and love, are such easy emotions to align ourselves so we're in the flow
Mhm.
to be those co-creators and manifest the things that support us in what it is our heart truly wants, what it is that we know to be true, what it is that we really desire, we love, what's for our highest good.
Mhm.
So that's where it just falls into that law of instantaneous manifestation. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to try to say, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. It's like, no, you're in the flow.
Yep.
You're in the flow and you're remembering, I am here.
Mhm.
I am here.
Yeah. Yes. I am here.
Here.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
When you were talking, what came to me was, command. Command is the heart, and demand is the mind. And
Yeah.
that the mind with its ego, who's told itself stories, who has its survival instincts, who has thinks that these need to happen in order for you to continue on the path of this earth. It's thinking with your mind, and I think the command is more is definitely from your heart, because your heart and your higher self are connected. Your higher self knows it's holding the map, right? It's carrying, it understands the manifestations that you want. It already knows the manifestations that you want to do, and it has the map. It can say, "Okay, I know how to drive the bus, let me do it." And it's about letting your mind go and letting that demand portion, that fear portion, "Oh, I've gotta pay this bill, so I need X amount of money." It's about releasing it and saying, "Nope, the money is there," which it is. The money is there, you just don't currently have it in your hand, but it's there. So all you have to do is do your affirmations, repeat things like, "The money is there, the money is available to me at any time, I'm an abundant person." The affirmations that you feel called to do, but you've gotta, again, remove that demand portion, that mind portion, that fear portion, and open your heart and say, "We've got this, it's all good, it's coming to me, and I know it is, because I am here."
And that and you say heart. Well, the heart is trust.
Yeah.
It's trust. When you command, you trust.
Mhm.
When you demand, there is that, I mean, it's just saying the words, demand, there's a feeling there of distrust
Mhm.
when you
Yeah,
demand. And command, it's like, okay, I know, like, you know, I command you to walk from here to here, right?
yeah.
I command you to walk this distance. Well, I know that you're able to do that.
Mhm.
I'm not testing you to do it. I'm not challenging you to do it. You know, I'm commanding you. I believe in you. I know in you. I trust in you. I'm holding that space for you. I see the possibilities. And so to command, it's definitely a different vibration than
True.
demand.
Yeah.
And it's even too, so I've noticed that since having that dissertion between demand and command
Yeah.
come in front of me, I found myself at times like, okay, wait a second. Yeah, okay, wait. I'm feeling a need. I'm feeling a want. I'm feeling, that feeling of like, if I could change this kind of a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, do I feel a demand or do I feel a command? And it's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can feel like my mind was kind of going to a demand center." It's like, "Okay, wait a second. How does command feel differently? How
Trust.
does that feel different?" And if
Trust.
I'm like, "Okay, if I'm commanding, then I know. I know." And it brings me back to like, "Phew, okay, I know."
Yeah. Yeah. I think demanding, there's a level of control there because you're trying to control someone, an event. But when you're the commanding, it's more, yeah, like you were saying before, you know that when you I don't necessarily like using military, but when a commander or even a boss, let's put it into a workforce. If a
Yeah,
boss is trusting you and knows who you are and knows your worth and says, "Can you go and do A, B, C, D, and E for me?" He's doing it in that kind of like, he has confidence in you. You know the difference between a boss who has confidence in you and a boss who does not.
yeah,
We've all been there. So you can tell
yeah,
that he has faith that it's going to and trust and understanding and that A, B, C, D, and E are going to get done. Where should he could be coming from a more controlling place with controlling tone, controlling words, A, B, C, D, and E might not get done out of spite, or it might,
yeah,
or it might
yeah.
get done because the person's so afraid of them or whatever and it won't get done correctly or it'll get rushed. So there is it works in a lot of, aspects of our lives, not just in our manifestations out there, but even just our manifestations in and amongst each other, our relationships in and amongst each other, that if we're, you know,
Yeah.
having a more trustful relationship with ourselves, we're going to be able to say when our mind goes off and starts running that chatter and saying, "No, we gotta demand, we gotta," and you can say, "No, remember, we're trusting ourselves, we're trusting our own inner guidance, we're not gonna judge. They've got their thing, they can do what they wanna do, and we're gonna go over here and do our thing."
Right.
And there's that level of trust within yourself, and once you have that level of trust in yourself, so that you can quiet this lovely little tool here, and it's a tool, folks, it's just the screwdriver, it's not the AI driving the bus, trust me, it's just a screwdriver. So let it go and let your heart guide you, let that trust guide you in your life, and day to day, and in your manifestations for the future moving forward, even if it's just a half an hour from now or 5 years from now. That would be the one number one thing I would say to people. Let your heart guide you. Let the trust guide you, and know that the universe, you are the I am presence. So it's all about you, baby, technically.
Good.
It's
Technically,
all
all
about
right.
you, baby. So you have that ability, and if you can hold on and remember that and trust in that, that I am as I am the I am presence. If we can all just remember that, that I am the I am presence.
Well,
I can't understate or overstate enough that in itself.
and there's such power in that. But I also, and you and I have talked a lot about this lately, um, and it's kind of, and I've said this to you personally, that it's come back more full circle for me. That you know, our feelings, our emotions. I mean, they're so personal. There's so much a part of who we are. And when it comes to, you know, to to understanding our creative abilities and manifesting in
Mhm.
our day-to-day life. I mean, manifesting at this very moment in your life right now. Like you are manifesting right now. You're manifesting, what's going to happen the next 15 minutes. You manifested what happened last 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And how often are we on autopilot with what we're feeling? How often, we've talked about this, how often do you wake up in the morning and you wake up and you crawl out of bed and you're immediately in feelings and you're immediately in thoughts? It's like, what is creating what? You know, are your thoughts creating your feelings? Are your feelings creating your thoughts? And just in that caliber of manifestation, to understand the power you have within your own life, just with that part of it, just with that part of your feelings and your thoughts and your thoughts and your feelings. And so to get personal with what you're feeling,
Mhm,
you know, have those moments where you stop and you check in and you realize, oh, I'm feeling anxious. Oh, why are you feeling anxious?
mhm.
You know, is it because it's the time of the day? Is this because it's a habit or a pattern for you? Because it's 3 o'clock and the kids are gonna be getting off the bus in 30 minutes, and oh my gosh, and all of a sudden, I haven't gotten this and this done. Is it that kind of a thing? Is it, that you're feeling sad? Well, why are you feeling sad? Well, it's because it's wintertime and it's dark or whatever. What is it? What is it that you're feeling? Is it because you just are doing it subconsciously?
Yes. Yep.
And how do you consciously get active in it? How do you really claim your life, claim who you are? And feelings and thoughts are, I think, if there is anything that I could really be like, okay, we need to start teaching this in school. We need to start having people, nobody, when you are a child, when you're a parent, so often, I think it's more so now than ever that people are actually, more aware than they were when we
Mhm.
were young,
Yeah.
right? But nobody really said, okay, let's really break this down. What are your feelings? What are
Yeah.
your thoughts? How do they play in together? I didn't learn that. And I mean, that was my own learning, and it was in my 30s that it really started to be like, oh, okay, you know. Um, but I continue to keep wanting to learn about it. And I
Mm.
keep wanting to have a more um, love for myself in
Mhm.
that human aspect of who I am,
Yeah.
because that's why we're here.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. A funny little story came to me when we and just to talk about manifesting all the time and the banality of what you think your body can teach you and tell you, if you're willing to stop and listen to it, and it shows that you're manifesting. Many of the people who've watched the channel know that I have suffered from, weight problems and have anyway, I'm not gonna go into the diagnosis because 'cause we're not talking about that. But, but part of my journey was learning, the subconscious tricks that my ego has given me, and the simple act of driving home from work, getting in the car, I could begin to feel the buildup. From the moment I left work to getting into the car, because I knew once I got in the car, I would have to drive past every fast food place, every donut place, every place that I could stop between and I would know each place that I could stop if I decided to have a binge fest, in that length of time between work and home. And as I grew closer and closer and closer, I would become more and more anxious. Well, am I gonna stop? Am I gonna do it? 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 And then as I get
Wow.
past it, my anxiety would begin to fade. But I didn't even not become aware of the level of anxiety I was keeping in my body until I was
Wow.
able to calm myself down and understand that I had tricked myself or I trained myself to that I could, first of all, soothe myself with food and became addicted to it, which is not useful, but even just the subtlety of what I had my mind and body had learned together over the years, that I had to learn to undo with as much passion, as I went into eating the stuff, but with a non-judgment of self-love and release of guilt and shame because it's just the learned patterns that we've adjusted to, so that if you find yourself getting anxious, just simply ask yourself, "What is it that it could be?" Even it was when Sarah
Yeah.
said 30 minutes, the kids will be getting off the bus. How many mothers look at the time, and then anxiety just sets into their body, but they're not even aware of it because they're on autopilot.
And anxiety, we all have felt it.
Yeah,
We all have felt it. And those emotions across the board, we've all felt it.
yeah,
We all will feel, a variety of them today. We're meant to. We're
yeah,
meant to. They're not bad. They're just indicators. Like anxiety is an indicator of something.
mhm,
It's an indicator of something.
yep,
Something that we can shift, that we have a co-creative power within.
yep, yep, and the joy is once you see it for what it is, you're stopping that energy right there. You're stopping that manifestation right there. It might take you a few tricks and a few times
Yeah.
around, but that's where the gentleness comes in, and it's about because if you don't, you're just gonna keep manifesting that anxiety. You're going and then when
Yeah.
you come across and you're going down the street and your body starts getting anxious because 'cause you're hitting a point that would normally trigger you, you can understand and relax and calm it, and eventually you've trained yourself to the point that you don't even get anxious when you go past it again. But it's about
And with that awareness, that is a very loving way to command.
exact Yep, yep. Hand to heart, Ave saw breath. Remember, we don't have to do this. Oh, yeah. And then you get that little
Yeah.
Cheshire cat grin that I like to say and go, "Ding, ding, 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 ding. Right. I don't have to do this." Um, I think so what are some ways that we can do you have any tricks or trades that we I love rampages, you've gotten me on rampages. Um, hang on grab a hold of that one little star of glimmer of joy. Like today I floated off on a rant about crayons and color and the joy
Oh,
that
good.
color can bring to your life and that you can color outside the lines, you can color inside the lines, but you're changing the world around you. And it's about manifesting and changing the world around you so you even now you can color inside the lines or you can color outside the lines. It's
Good.
completely your choice. Um, and so I love those rampages. If you can find some partners in the morning, or even to yourself, there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with you standing in your bathroom in front of your mirror, putting your hand to your heart and going, I am the greatest thing since sliced bread. I have got today under my belt. Today is going to be the most fabulous day I've ever had. I have the strength. I have the confidence, I have the understanding. That's a very basic kind of 3D level rampage, but you can even go way deeper into that things than
Yeah.
that.
Well, and even just going by what we said, even just at any moment of the day, in the morning's a great time because you're starting with the the actually you're starting off the day getting a hold of your day when
Yeah,
you do it first thing in the morning.
yeah,
You're acknowledging you just step right into it like, okay, what am I feeling? And the thing is there are times that you wake up and you aren't feeling it. You're just not as, you're not wanting to skip through the day. You're not even wanting to crawl out of bed. The thing is loving yourself too and
yeah,
acknowledging that,
yep,
and that is okay. I mean, the best thing is to meet yourself where you are.
yep,
Meet yourself to where you are and then just know it's like how do you then move into the next and just let it go. But you rampages are great. And at any moment if you catch yourself in that intense feeling,
yeah,
if you catch yourself in that intense feeling of whatever it is, but then what are you going to do with that moment? Are you just going to feed it? And is it
mhm,
worth feeding? You have to think of it, is it the monster in the cage, whatever it is, right?
yeah,
So it's like, what are you feeding it? And then take accountability for that. Where are you responsibly creating? And then if it's something that if you find yourself, if you find yourself in that place where you're wanting to change something, you're wanting to manifest something, it's like stop. What energy are you in? Are you in the demand or are you in the command? And actively ask yourself that question
Yep,
and say, okay, if I'm in command, what does that look like?
yep, yeah,
What does that look like? If I am in a loving space where I want to command that, what does that look like? Because everybody's going to be different in that, in my opinion.
mhm,
Everybody's gonna be different how they manifest. But those are the things that I've really been like, okay, and have fun with it. Have
yes,
fun with it. I think it's a muscle. I really think it's a muscle. It's like you have this muscle of creation that you have to work with. And it's like, are you staying in your lines and not
mhm,
coloring outside of it or using different crayons or this and not looking outside the box, right?
yeah,
So allow yourself to dream.
yeah, exactly. Allow yourself to dream.
Yeah.
And then get out of your own way, because we haven't even talked about that whole part of manifestation and commanding and demanding is once
Yes.
you've done that whole dreaming and you've manifested and you can feel it and touch it, it's then let it go and get out of your way before
Oh,
you get yourself
let it
and your
go.
ego into the gobbledygook, but that's we'll have to do that one next week because we are officially out of time. So,
Officially.
everybody, it was wonderful to be here with you. Now, Sarah's going to be our regular co-host with us, and we're still gonna bring guests on and have stories told because that's what this is all about: is sharing stories, sharing inspiration, and just keeping each other going out in the world, inspiring each other. Um, and I can't wait to co-create again with you next week, Sarah.
I can't wait. I'm excited to see how we bring this all together. So
Me too.
love that I'm here with you guys. So, yeah.
All right. Much love, everybody, and we'll see you again next week on the 9th. And until then, much love. Namaste, everyone. Bye.
Namaste.